When I was playing hockey, I knew of Willie O'Ree. I think it inspired me to be able to use my voice and tell my story and not to be afraid of it. Actually had a Willie O'Ree puck, and that puck right here helped me get through my very first sports diversity story. There was 250 prospects there, and I was so nervous and I was so scared that I used this puck to get me through, and I keep it as a memento.
It was a tremendous honor and a no-brainer to nominate Brent Dodginghorst for the Willie O'Ree Community Hero Award presented by Hyundai. He has just been such a tremendous advocate and friend and peer and mentor to our entire organization at the Calgary Flames and the Calgary Hitmen. And a lot of what we've built as far as inclusion in our minor hockey programs, in our celebration games, Brent's been a part of that. And we're just so lucky to have him.
When I was younger, I was involved in rodeo and hockey. But at 16, I had to make a choice between hockey and rodeo, and we chose hockey.
Brent played for the Calgary Hitmen back in the day. He won the WHL championship. Before that, he played Junior A. He won a national Junior A championship.
Played a couple years pro and eventually went into leadership. The DH Ranch was inspired by my grandmother. Before she passed away, she always wanted me to keep our culture alive, to work with the horses, and help the youth connect to their culture and the horses. Teamwork, just like in hockey. Our programs are always making sure that we're on the land, we're with the horses and the culture, but we have sports in there with hockey, because we always felt that you have to have that balance in life. 95% of my hockey was awesome. It was an opportunity for me to see the country and see the world and chase my dreams. But it was that 5% that it was hard to talk about it because there was discrimination and racism. There was a lot of fans that showed hatred towards me because of my last name, and the refs didn't know how to handle it. In 2018, when my daughter was playing hockey, when racism really affected her where she wanted to quit. And at that point in time, I knew I needed to speak up and tell my story. The horse has been the best teacher for me. We have to rebuild that relationship with the horse. It's almost like rebuilding relationships with your coach or your teammates. So what do? Communicate, that's right. We have to be able to understand them through communication. We build that nice tone and we work with them, then we can move forward together. But if we start using that discrimination, racism again, what are the athletes gonna do? They're gonna get scared, they're gonna fight, and they're gonna freeze. And a lot of times, Indigenous kids or people of color will just quit hockey because of that. But hockey is such a good sport to where we wanna encourage them to do good things, and it brings everybody together.
His journey is through lived experience, and that experience was very hard. And you hear Brent tell the stories, in all level of hockey, of the things that he endured, and he still kept playing, and he still loved the game, and he still tried to make it a better place.
There's teams that reach out within different organizations that are struggling with diversity. That's when the DH Ranch comes in, and we tailor programs, team building programs to organizations that want to be able to be more inclusive on sports diversity.
Brent has been a great help to our Calgary Fire program, helping people to understand the diverse nature of our sport and trying to make sure that everyone feels welcomed.
Well, here we are, Seven Chiefs. I work closely with the Seven Chiefs hockey program, which is Kyle. He's my cousin, but we're like brothers.
I'll do a lot of the X and O's on the board, and then Brent will come in and he'll do more of the motivational stuff. He gets them all pumped up, fired up.
I played pro hockey, and I played in the Dub where the Saddle Dome was sold right out. 19,000 people that were just sellouts, and it was unreal. If I can do it, you guys can do it. And you have to believe in yourself. And how do you believe in yourself is you got to work at it every day.
So a lot of our kids will attend both programs, and he kind of shows them how to be multi-sport athletes. The kids I have, they don't remember him playing, but all their parents do. So the parents will tell stories, and then they get passed on. Like with my kids, I always talk about their Uncle Brent, how great he was.
He has like a connection to be my uncle, but it's also cool because we have a connection through hockey. I think listening to his stories really makes me want to push to be like him.
Hanging around Brent and people from my community, honestly, it does make me more confident on the ice. Me wanting to go pro just kind of wants to prove that even though you're native, you could do anything.
There's probably about 40% of the people that come in that are non-Indigenous. So I'm telling my story, then I'm empowering them to be an ally.
That whole allyship piece is so key, and I think that Brent helped us to understand the roles that all of us can play.
When you see parents that are breaking down and crying and saying, thank you for bringing this up, or thank you for spreading that message, that's what honestly drives me.